What's up, everybody? So today I'd just like to make an addendum to my Arch Linux install videos. So on my main video, I only showed how to install using UEFI BIOS. And while that's certainly useful and most hardware will support that anymore, some people may not want to use that or may have older hardware that doesn't support that. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what you need to do differently for a BIOS install. I'm not going to run through the entire install process with you again because you've already seen that. I'm just going to show you what would be different. So there's two main points that are going to be different for this. The first one is going to be partitioning the disk, partitioning and mounting and all that with the disks. And then the second thing that's going to be different is going to be the actual grub install process. So if we just jump in here real quick, we're going to go ahead and first thing I'm going to do is wipe my disk, which I showed you how to do this last time, and you may not even need it depending on what you're doing here. So okay, so there's that. Now we're going to use CF disk on your disk, whichever one you're planning on using. And last time we used a GPT partition table. This time we are going to use a DOS partition table because it makes it a lot easier for doing a BIOS installation. You can do it with a GPT table, but I wouldn't do that unless I had to, just because BIOS installations just work best with a DOS table. So we'll do that. And then the big difference here is that we no longer need an EFI partition. So we're only going to need two partitions. We're going to need our swap partition. Let's make that 4 gigs. And we want to select primary. Then we're going to create another new partition. It'll be the rest of the space. This will just be our root partition. We'll set it as primary. And I'm going to head up to this SDA1, our swap partition, set type, and set that to Linux swap. Go ahead and write, type yes, and quit. If I LSBLK here, we do have both things there. Now all we do is we mk swap dev SDA1, mkfs ext4 dev SDA2. Yes, it already has one, whatever. I'm going to do it anyway. That's just because I already had it partitioned that way, that exact way, so it already detected a file system there. So there's that. And then all we need to do is mount dev SDA2 on MNT and swap on dev SDA1. Now, and that's everything mounted. If we swap on, we can see that that's already there. ls/mnt, we see we've got our drive mounted there. So at this point, you can just continue with the rest of the other video, the main video, up until we get to the point where we're installing grub. So I'll go ahead and get to that point, and I'll see you when I get there. All right, so now I've made it to the point where we're ready to install the bootloader. So what we're going to do is we're going to pacman -s, we're going to install grub. Your Ucode package, I believe I talked about this in the other one. I'm running Intel, so Intel Ucode. And then we want OS Prober. Now, if you notice, I didn't install EFI Boot Manager like I did in the other video. It's because we're not going to be using EFI. So go ahead and install all that. All right. And now all we need to do is we need to do grub install. I'm going to try target equals i386-pc dev SDA. Now replace this with whatever drive you're installing this on. Now you'll notice we're not installing to a directory this time, but rather to a drive. And that'd be because this is a BIOS boot. So we're going to hit enter. It'll go ahead and install real quick. No error reported. And we just do the standard grub make config and -o boot grub rub.cfg. All right, now I'm just gonna make sure I didn't miss anything here. It doesn't look like it, so we should be able to reboot. I'm gonna unplug my USB and we'll boot up. And here's our Arch Linux. Just give it a bit, and here we are on a BIOS boot. Oh, whoop, that's not what I used for the password. There we go. And so here we are. So that's it for this addendum. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you were able to learn something from that. It was helpful. And I'll see you in the next video.